Jabatan Keselamatan dan Kesihatan Pekerjaan JKKP Pulau Pinang pada 1 Julai lalu mengarahkan supaya segala aktiviti kerja di tapak pembinaan Bandar Tanjung Pinang dihentikan serta-merta ekoran kemalangan maut yang mengorbankan seorang buruh binaan di kawasan tersebut. JKKP Pulau Pinang dalam kenyataannya berkata tindakan itu telah dikuatkuasakan susulan siasatan yang sedang dijalankan berhubung insiden berkenaan yang melibatkan seorang pekerja warga Indonesia.
Based on the construction incident that we have to review, several workplace hazards can be identified. Construction sites are considered high-risk working environments because workers are exposed to various physical hazards on a daily basis. The first hazard is unsafe work conditions. Construction activities often involve heavy materials, machinery, and ongoing structural work. Without proper control measures, workers may be exposed to serious risks that can result in severe injuries or fatalities. The second hazard is inadequate hazard assessment and monitoring. Before any work began, potential dangers should be identified through a risk assessment process. Failure to recognize and control hazard at any early stage can increase the likelihood of an accident occurring. The third hazard is insufficient supervision and safety enforcement. Workers must be continuous monitored to ensure that safety procedures are followed correctly. A lack of supervision may lead to unsafe practice and non-compliance with safety requirements. Another important hazard is failure to use appropriate personal protective equipment or PPE, safety helmet, safety boot, reflective vest, and other protective equipment are essential in reduce the severity of injuries when incident occur.
Next, let's try to see the cause of this accident. The first one is improper rigging and securing. The polywood has not been rigged and bundled before being lifted into the air. The loose rigging of the load made the materials fall out of the hoisting ties of the crane mid-air, which means it's not been tied properly or has secured all the chains, all the things that kept them steady in the air. Secondly is how the accident actually happened to the worker. It's a physical impact for the plywood. It fell and hit the worker was standing at elevator level, as I said earlier, at the floor 6 above. So the third one is high altitude fall. The force from the falling debris of polywood knocked down from the worker, resulting in his fall of 6 meters approximately on the concrete floor. There's also underlying cause of injury, which refers to the effects that come or elements that infected the worker after the accident. The next one, something that should be considered as negligence in part of government, in part of the one that handles it, is the absence of fall protection system. There was serious lack of any active of passive fall prevention system like safety harness or anchor lines or catch platform or perimeter guard rails so that it can protect the worker even though it's on the roof. I think there's something that is like anchor lines or something harness. The next one is lapse in enforcing safety zone. The worker was allowed to undertake the installation work of the roof at the place where the drop zone, the mobile crane, actively operational. So he is working in the line of operational crane. That's the issue. Next one is lapse in supervision. The site supervisor did not ensure proper rigging of the crane and stopped lifting the load once he saw that worker without safety harness and was exposed to hazards overhead. Yeah, there's no one's watching it, there's no one perfect for it, it's the workers don't even care about anything. So to recap all the compliance issue instead of the physical one, firstly of course, no fall protection, as I said earlier, no harness, no rails, no safety anchors for the workers. Secondly, it's about unsafe lifting practices, which means the crane will allow to unlift stuff and materials while there's a worker in line of operation. The third one is defective machinery. This might cause from the crane itself or the material used to hold the plywood. The fourth one is no risk assessment. They're not aware that how the crane could actually kill someone in the process. The last one is the poor supervision because there's no one watching any of the workers doing, and so no one is warning anyone to not to do things such as what a worker has been done before.
There are some improvements and recommendations that can be made to avoid the incident from happen again in the future, which is the first one is to communicate clearly with all of the laborers and employees that involved in the workplace. So they need to learn some languages that they speak in order to make sure that everybody understand and follow the procedures to make sure that they know how to work together to prevent this thing from happen again. So the second one is to reduce the speed of the vehicle that involved in this kind of work by implementing at least 20 kilometer per hour in order to prevent some unexpected events that will bring fatalities to anyone that involved in the workplace. So for the third one, the last one is encourages all of the workers and laborers that involved in the construction works to wear personal equipments that can bring them safety, such as vests, helmets, and boots, to prevent them from unexpected events too, like falling things and others.